I was downtown one day, and I was in my car, and a soldier stopped, and he asked me what nationality I was, and I said I'm Vietnamese, and he says, you know, I served in Vietnam, and I said, well, thank you very much for being there, and he broke down and cried because he said nobody ever thanked him. I mean, I would give my life for his. I mean, just to know that he sacrificed and to feel like that broke my heart.
In order to understand why 40 years after the Vietnam War, this lady is still moved by Vietnam veterans, you need to understand where she came from. My name is Kinley. I'm a 16-year-old student, and I'm half Vietnamese. This is my mom, and here is her story. My mom's name is
Tu Thuy Thi Trinh. That's how you say it.
She was born in Pleiku, Vietnam on October 13th, 1966, 11 years after the start of the Vietnam War. Her father was a treasurer in the South Vietnamese Army, and her mother worked at home raising 8 children.
Well, what I remember growing up in Vietnam, well, we walked a lot. There's a lot of dirt, played in the mud, a lot of rain. Our life was focused on education. And living in a military base, it was exciting to say the least.
For a short time, my mom's childhood was similar to these Vietnamese children today. Her favorite memories are meals with the family.
Just having all this crab and seafood and whatever food just poured on the table, and there's 10 of us around the table and just going at it. That was really fun.
But that didn't last. Life in South Vietnam became very difficult.
On the day that my oldest brother had to go off to an academy, you started hearing bombings from far away. My dad gathered our family and took us into the bunker. And as you're sitting in the bunker, you can hear the bombs. The noise just kept getting closer and closer. And next thing we know, it was next door.
On April 27th, 1975, the childhood my mom knew officially ended, and the moment they had feared finally came to life.
And then we got out into this field, and we had to pair off.
My mom's older brother and youngest sister were caught in the middle of a shoot-off and lost the rest of the group. My grandfather ran in the opposite direction to get away and was wounded in the thigh and lower back.
So we kept going, and we looked back and we couldn't see our dad anymore and our brother.
I mean, I know what it's like to run for your life, because that's what it was. People just running for their lives.
My mother and her group reached the boat that her mother organized for the escape.
The fisherman threw us off the boat, so my mother had to beg him to put us back on, and he finally put us back on, and we were able to go out to the ocean. We lost everything. We lost all of our luggage, all of our belongings.
While boarding the boat, my grandmother suffered a serious injury in need of medical attention. So my mom and her 4 siblings went without their mother for a short period of time. But lucky enough, just as they were getting their paperwork together to come to the United States, they were reunited with her. Finally, they were able to go to America, leaving behind 3 siblings and their father. My mother was moved from Vietnam to Guam to Arkansas. And while in Arkansas, they found a woman who belonged to a Mormon church in Santa Monica, California, who would sponsor my mother's family. Starting a new life in the U.S. without her father and siblings was especially painful.
From that moment on, we just wondering where they were. We were hoping they'd catch up to us, but they never did.
But they persevered, and once settled, found out the family they left behind was still alive. So my grandmother began working 16-hour days to save money to move them to America.
10 people in one family reunited is just amazing.
While many Americans didn't support the troops, my mom will never forget their incredible acts of kindness and valor.
I wouldn't be here. My mom and dad wouldn't be here. my kids wouldn't be here. I do feel guilty at times because I do know that a lot of people were killed trying to protect us and save us. I owe it to the American soldiers, and I'm really so grateful.
Now that's why over 4 decades after the war, that lady, my mom, is still moved every time she sees a Vietnam veteran.